And, that's how it works, man. You got influential figures. Some of them, are used. You feel me? They get used to facilitate atrocities. You know what I'm saying? Like, for one, for example, this attack on my life, it's people that, I'm saying, man, just the act of trying to take somebody's copyrighted stuff, attribute it to somebody else, and then exile them out the country. You feel me? That crime right there is instantly, you feel me? Like, that deserves prosecution. You feel me? To say the least. And even if, they didn't succeed, they tried it, and then I proved them tried it. You feel me? All of it. So I mean, that in itself, words can't describe, it's one of those things that, situation that's, incomprehensibly evil, just to try to do somebody like that, destroy their character, attack their reputation and integrity and all these things constantly, to hide the fact of, us, being accessories to even, molestation and things, of the same person in their childhood, despite how remote it was. I mean, it's a situation that's embedded, it's deeper, in society, and it's become integrated into society, to the point where, it just like, it become engraved into the fabrics. And so that's another part of the reason why God go create a new earth. Situations like this, it's just atrocity. And I couldn't even it was, my life was thoroughly sabotaged to the point where I couldn't even, be great, to the extent God intended, but you see why though, you feel me? You see why, it's been a situation like that. They still turn my life into a spectacle in spite of my other prevention of it. After the crime is complete, every year, all year, the same thing happened. They proposed me to take flight. I ain't going nowhere. To my legacy is secured to the point where I am okay with it being secured. You know what I'm saying? Tons of entities that shouldn't even have access to me. After the information I already disclosed years ago, which was just as viral as it is now. It's just like, I don't understand it, There are people that gangbang on a baby, on a child, and everybody see it and nobody does anything. That's another thing I don't understand. It's just been a weird thing. But it justifies the coming judgments of God, though, in the book of Revelations. Everything after chapter 12, and even before, it justifies. It's still a situation that's unresolved while it's fully manifest, fully exposed. That's no respect, that shows no respect to a person, what they stand for, anything, just to act to try something like that, That's weird, man. And it's not as everybody know, it's not a situation where, you got like a competition or, a battle or something like that with somebody, man. This here is like far, far, far larger. You know what I'm saying? This is like if somebody it's like, say, I don't know, say if you got a certain, just for example, if, any just like say a regular person, for example, they got like a certain size attire, at clothes and stuff that they wear. You know, it's like this situation, like, say if somebody kidnapped them, and I mean, just weird, you know, somebody kidnapped the person or something like that and squeezed them into, you know, some clothes that were like 3 sizes too small. And, you know, and to the point where, you know, it's, you know, of course it's not comfortable. That's like somebody doing that to a person and then, you know, sending them out and then, you know, making a mockery of, like, doing, you know what I mean, like, under the radar, you know, doing that to a person and then letting them go free, you know what I'm saying, like that, you know, before crowds of people, you know what I'm saying, and then making fun of them after that, something that they did in the first place. That's the kind of situation it is. It just happened, you know, a considerable amount of time ago, to the point where, you know, people, you know, the people, I guess, the evil, the wicked, you know, that has something to do with it, they can just hide out of sight, you know what I'm saying, with it. But I mean, some people just got genuinely deceived, though, and that's a difference. You feel me? People that just did not know, that's a difference. You know, they, God is the righteous judge. He know, you know, who knows who knew what and all that. But I mean, this situation unnatural. It's not natural at all. You know, this is like a larger than life type of persecution. To be honest. You know, horrific, to say the least. I mean, even I haven't been able to, you know, to fully process things that I've been through. You know, that I understand, but I just haven't been able to grasp the, you know, the gravity of, you know what I mean, the fullness of, you know, some of the persecutions that I've been through. I mean, I know what I've been through, but it's like, I mean, I still don't understand how something like that, you know, how these things are possible. I mean, you know, in this society, and more stuff got poured on top of it, you know, compounded to the point where it's like you just constantly in a state of terror, you know, or shock, and then have that shock intentionally go ignored, and you treat it as if, you know, nothing happened to you. You feel me? Anyway, and attack then, and then, you know, considered able to contend with the people who was orchestrating doing this stuff on the low in the first place. So, I mean, the fight is not fair. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole chapter, a whole book, you feel me, of things, you know, that happened before, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, certain competitors or whatever, you know, quote unquote, call you out. You know, it's a whole lot of, you know, it's a whole book of things that they did that they leave out, you feel me, already, that they was doing under the radar, you know, away from the public. You know what I'm saying? But publicly, you know, it's like portrayed like you, you know, to call you, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? To make it seem as if the battle is fair. I mean, I'm a strong individual, you know, because the Lord, but I mean, so I mean, people wouldn't see it. But I mean, it's like a whole lot more underneath the water, you know what I'm saying? Like underneath, you know, than what just people see. And it's a really weird situation, man. And you know what I mean, I got no choice but, you know what I mean, adhere to the reality I know. Like, I was going through this stuff all this time. Fact remain that, I mean, I can't renounce my testimony. You know, it made me to who I am. Now, though, at the time when my testimony, I was, you know, going through this stuff, I didn't have an understanding, you know, of who or what it was. I mean, eventually, you know what I'm saying? If it's like if you got like a porch with a whole bunch of dirt on top of it, if you keep on sweeping it, you're going to see the porch again eventually. You feel me? That's the kind of situation. You can't help it. If it's a whole lot of sand on the porch, a wooden porch or something, a whole lot of sand, all across the whole thing, well, if you keep sweeping it or scrubbing it, you know, eventually you go see the floor. Because, I mean, come on, you don't want to get guests and stuff, you know what I'm saying, with your porch looking like that, feel me? For example. You got it. I mean, you obligated to clean the porch, to sweep the porch off. Or the walkway or whatever. It's gonna have a surface. You feel, I mean, it's gonna have a surface underneath it. And that's not your fault. That's the way it's made, feel me? That's just the way, you know, it's designed. I mean, it's a foundation. That's what you stand on. That's what you walk on, the porch or the walkway, the floor, you know. Underneath the sand, there's gonna be a floor there, feel me? It's gonna be a porch there. I mean, you gotta sweep it off, but that's dirty, feel me? I mean, you have to. It's your home. It's your, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's what it is, you know what I mean? I shouldn't have to be exiled just because there's a surface underneath the dirt, feel me? I didn't put the surface there. You know? The surface God put there. You know? God created the surface. The devil is to put all the dirt on it. Gotta be cleaned off.